I asked you to solve this equation. What would be the first step? Distribute. Okay, so we have a 10 plus, I have to distribute my 3 in this parentheses. So 3 times 2x would be a 6x. 3 times -4 is -12. What about on the right hand side? What do we have to distribute? So term 17 minus x minus 5. Okay, if we combine like terms, 10 and -12 gives me a -2. 17 minus 5 is 12. So I can add over my x. Add over my 2. Divide by 7, and x is 2. The nice thing about just these linear equations, you can always check it at the end. How do we check it? Plug it back into the original. So I'm not going to take the time to do that right now, but you always can. You just put it into both sides and make sure they're equal to one another. All right. So far so good. Let's try an uglier looking one. So x plus 7 over 6 plus 2x minus 8 over 2 equals -4. These are linear equations because I only have x to the first. We have two options. We can start out by getting rid of all the fractions, or we can deal with them. So do you want to get rid of the fractions or keep them?
Get rid of them.
Get rid of them. Okay. So look at my denominators. 6 and 2. What could I multiply by that would cancel both of those? 12 would work. So if you do that, you have to take everything times 12. All 3 pieces. So take all of those times 12 because we're doing it to both sides. 12 divided by 6 is 2. So that leaves us with 2 times the x plus 7. 12 divided by 2 is 6 times my 2x minus 8. And -4 times 12 is -48.
How are you getting those?
Okay. So when I multiply that by 12, basically that becomes 12 times x plus 7 over 6. And I reduced my 12 and 6 to get a 2. Does everybody see where I got it from? Now it's like the last equation. It's just a matter of distributing and combining like terms. So we get 2x plus 14 plus 12x minus 48 equals -48. Add like terms, so we have 14x minus 34 and x is -4. We don't have to get nice answers. We can have fractions, we can have decimals. The homework is going to be on the Math Excel, so just watch. It will tell you to write your answer as a fraction or as a decimal, so make sure you're following that accordingly. Is that one okay? Let's do, I'm going to change this one. Okay. want you guys to do this one. I'm going to put 2 examples up here. Do the first one. If you finished it and have time, you can start the second one also. We could deal with the fractions, but I think you guys like to get rid of them, so we'll do that. My denominators are 4 and 3. What could I multiply by that would cancel both of those? 12. So you have to do it to every term. Okay, so for the first one, 12 divided by 4 is 3, so you have 3 times the x minus 2. Plus, second one, 12 divided by 3 is 4, so 4 times the x plus 1. And over here, 12 times 2 is 24. So we get 3x minus 6 plus 4x plus 4 equals 24. Add like terms, so that would be a 7x minus 2. Add over your 2, divide by 7. When you do 26 divided by 7, it comes out to a long, nasty decimal, so let's just leave it in fraction. It can't be reduced, so I'll just leave it as 26 over 7. I prefer exact answers, not rounded answers. Okay, B. What would we have to do first? Let's start on the inside. So the square brackets, that's just another grouping symbol. If I'm looking in here, I have to start by distributing the negative. So that makes it a plus 9 and minus 2x. Over here we get 6x minus 2. So I can combine like terms. Negative 5 plus 9 is 4 minus 2x. So then if we distribute, we get a negative 12 plus 6x equals 6x minus 2. What happens now?
The 2x's can cancel.
If I subtract my 6x, that drops. And I have negative 12 equals negative 2. What does that mean?
No solution.
No solution. Good. In general, we have 3 different types of equations. The first type is like every other one we've been solving. It's a conditional equation. It has one solution. It's true when those 2 lines meet. So if you solve it and you get x equals something, that's a conditional equation. What we just had happen, no solution, that's like when you have 2 parallel lines. They never meet. So in that case, we call this a contradiction. It can't happen. So conditional, you get one solution. Contradiction is no solution. And then the final type is when you have infinite solutions. You have 2 equations for the same line, essentially. And in that case, we call that an identity. So I want to just solve a few more, and I want to identify each of these as a conditional, contradiction, or identity.
Is identity all numbers?
Yes. So let's say I gave you, I'm going to put a few up here, and you guys try to solve them and tell me what they are. solve it and you get down to like -3 equals 7. So what does that mean? Yeah, there is no solution, it is a contradiction. Okay, the next one, we solve, our x's cancel, but this one I'm left with -8 equals 8. How is that different than part A?
It's the same.
Yeah, it's true. -8 does equal -8. So this one is an identity. What we usually say is infinite solutions are all real numbers. You can plug in anything for x and it's going to work.
So for that, would you just like the infinite sign?
I would either say all real numbers or just write this in quotes. And then C, you solve that one and we get x equals 10. So if we solve it and get a solution, what do we call that?
Conditional.
Conditional. Any questions there?
I didn't get 10 on that one.
Didn't? Okay. Let's walk. Well, let's walk right through. Maybe I made a mistake. So first we have to distribute. So we have 0.06x plus 0.09 times 15 is 1.35 minus 0.09x equals 0.07 times 15. Positive 0.06 and negative 0.09 is negative 0.03x. Okay, so then what do we have to do?
Subtract 1.35.
And if you do that, you get a negative 0.03x equals a negative 0.3. And so then we divide by the negative 0.03. We should get a 10. We have about 20 minutes, maybe a little more than that left. There's a math Excel assignment. So you've got the rest of class to work on that and ask questions.